Hi everybody, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Adam Marek. I'm here to help you with your health, wealth and finance. Today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, or more particularly cryptocurrencies, the future of the market, how I see this playing out, and talk a little bit more specifically around the money that I have invested, made and lost within the crypto market space over the recent years. So firstly, let's take a look at what Bitcoin is. Now, there's a million and one videos out there, so I'm going to summarize it in my words. Traditional lending and spending largely works because you have a vendor that is selling something and you have a buyer that wants to buy something, and in between there's a third-party transaction generally governed by people like WorldPay and things like MasterCard and Visas that act as a transactional intermediary that allow the vendor to sell the item to the buyer because they vouch for that payment and effectively keep those payments on a ledger. The ledger being that record of those transactions. And it's a multi-million or billion-dollar industry that is making lots and lots of money on every single transaction that exists between the vendor and the seller. So over a decade ago, there was a cryptocurrency blog published by Satoshi Nakamoto, the original founder of Bitcoin, and he proposed a system that would no longer require an intermediary, but said rather than having this ledger, this document of transactions between the vendor and the buyer kept on one platform, what if that system was kept across multiple computers and wasn't centrally controlled by anybody? Within a very short period of time, Bitcoin was born and started to be used to replace some transactions in a very early stage until recent years when it's become more and more increasingly adopted, until recent weeks when Tesla themselves, the automotive car maker owned by Elon Musk, has said that you can buy and purchase Tesla with Bitcoin. The amazing thing about Bitcoin is that there is no central government or control of the cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin itself. And effectively, how would you therefore shut that down? As long as there is a computer system operating, as long as there is a computer open that is keeping track of that ledger, you cannot stop Bitcoin being used as a currency, particularly if the users of the cryptocurrency are prepared to exchange that in fair for fair exchange. However, since Bitcoin was established, there's now a raft of digital currencies that are available, and they all seem to be taking different trends and patterns in terms of whether they're up and down. But the main cryptocurrencies that are in circulation tend to be Bitcoin, which is the one that everybody talks about, Ethereum and Litecoin. So let's jump over to the graph, see what cryptocurrency I've purchased over the years, see what money I've made so that you can potentially share in the upside and evaluate the risk on your risk profile and whether you want to get involved with it or not. In December 2017, actually November, I put like £100 in, just testing the water, and then threw a few £100s in. That ramped up to what at the time I thought was like mega. I'd like made from £300-400, like £700. So I took a few £100s out and bought some Christmas presents and then left it in for like a couple of years. And then here, like around November, I was like, right, I'm going to put some money in. So I put £1,000 in. Came along here. I'm not sure whether this spike was just like, I think it was like a big ramped spike. I'm not sure whether I put money in or it went in, but it did ramp up, I think, here. And then I thought I'll crystallise my position again, take some money out, and I left the rest in to ride the storm. Just kind of went up and down and up and down, and then started to ramp up. So you can see here from like what was effectively March 20 all the way up to like October 20, it was just going nuts. I made basically £4,000 here, and then I thought, well, screw that, I'll take a load out. So I took a few grand out, which you might think maybe it was a mistake because it kind of shot up here. But when it did, I took a bit more money out, and I've kind of just used it like that, leave a little bit in, but like basically all the money that I have put into Bitcoin now, I have made back, I have taken out. But you can see here I was in the early days, well, not the early days, but before a lot of people were talking around it. And then every time I've had these like spikes, I've taken a little bit out because I just wanted to solidify my position. I mean, I'm in this for the long haul for like 20 years anyway. So I will always have money in, but I'll use it to take money out. Like here, I used it to buy some stuff for the house that we moved into and things like that. So let me know in the comments below what you guys have invested, when you invested, if you're taking money out, you're leaving it in, and what your thoughts are on the future of Bitcoin. Post a comment below. Now, having walked the walk and essentially invested in Bitcoin and made some money from it, not on a massive scale, but still having made significant money, it's material for me. It's not like an insignificant amount of money. Leads me to the question now, is there a future within the cryptocurrency and crypto space? The answer to that is uncertain, and this is where there's largely conflicting opinions come in. If you read a number of articles, they will say that Bitcoin bubble is going to burst, it's going to crash. And then you've got other institutional investors now making considerable amounts of money, pumping and increasing the price of Bitcoin by investing billions and billions of dollars into it. And therefore it leaves you kind of at a loss as to whether it's going to be adopted as a modern currency that is transactional and replaces effectively the fiat, or what was the gold standard of currency denominations by local governments. And I'm going to give you my opinion and my opinion only on this. So take what you want from this. I think there is a marketplace for a replacement of currencies as they currently exist. I do think Bitcoin is well positioned to take that position, but actually I think there's two ways that this will pan out. There will either be more regulatory and government intervention because they don't want to be seen having a lack of control over their own currency, and they don't want a decentralized currency in operation because it limits their ability to control supply and also limits and impacts massively on governments' economic positions globally and locally. And what I mean by that is effectively governments will stop this being adopted as a mainstream way of paying. The challenge with that is if the users want to adopt Bitcoin and want to use that as a transactional method of paying, it's very, very difficult to stop. And so my position on it is very clear. I think you should invest at this stage what you are prepared to lose. There are certain things, for example, when things went wrong with me on Coinbase, I couldn't get in touch with someone. Like if your money gets stolen, there's no one to go to. Like there are risks from a security perspective, particularly if you're talking and dealing with large sums of money. Now you can keep your Bitcoin on a cold ledger if you like, or a cold wallet, which is off the system. But that's not to say at some stage you might not be able to materialize that money at a later date because ultimately crypto or that Bitcoin currency gets disused or there's no platform that you can use to service that. So I think of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency as being a method to make some perhaps short-term financial gain with a view that there is a significant risk at this stage. Risk what you can. I think there will be a future adoption of some cryptocurrency or coin, but whether that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some other method at a future date, I do not know. I think it will evolve to something that we do not know or expect it to be today. Now, if you like this video, you're interested in learning about finance, business, and money, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like, helps with the algorithm, helps me reach more people, and I'll see you in the next video.